Jaina versus
Hey guys, Sheng here with basic deck tech on Naxxramas
You
Mage.
asked for it.
Basically, Naxxramas Mage is just the basic Mage cards along with cards from the Naxxramas set. After I posted my 9-guide deck series to the basic cards on Reddit, a lot of people said, well, I have the basic cards and I'm a new player, but I also have Naxxramas because it was such a good deal. How do I include the Naxxramas cards into my basic decks to improve it? So today I'm going to be giving sort of video commentary on basically a playthrough of this deck from rank 12 to rank 11. This deck hits a wall around rank 10 or so you can't really expect to get to Legendary with it, but it's actually a lot of fun to play, and if you're on a budget, there's really not much better than you can do with just Naxxramas cards and the basic card set. So you'll notice that on turn 1 I started off with a Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is actually a very, very good card for tempo if you're playing it early. Now the weakness of this card is if you happen to play this card late in the game and your opponent is close to lethal, or you're close to lethal against your opponent, having them gain 5 health just puts you further away from accomplishing the goal of being able to kill them. So basically the inclusion of this card is just for early game tempo. The objective is to try to trade away your Zombie Chow before your opponent gets too low in health. Like if it dies while your opponent is at 30 health, then you've played 1 mana for a 2/3 and you've traded with like a 3/2 and it's gotten a lot of value for you. So on turn 2 my choices were basically to play the Shattered Sun Cleric or the Ooze. I chose to play the Ooze because I felt like it would give me more tempo. The Ooze trades with most 3 mana minions, so it's pretty nice. And his turn 3 is pretty passive right there.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Just decided to dagger up again, hoping that he could kill it on turn 4 with his Hero Power Wicked Knife. But fortunately we can buff it to a 3/2 so it doesn't die. Yeah, the general strategy of this deck is just to build an early game advantage and just outvalue your opponent with cards that have a lot of value. Some of the significant changes from the basic version of the Mage deck are the inclusion of cards like Loatheb and Sledgebelcher. You'll notice that the old version of this deck with just basic cards actually didn't have any 5-drops. And that was kind of weak because on turn 5 you really don't want to play a 4-mana minion. You want to play something that can take advantage of all the mana crystals that you have. And Sledgebelchers actually fit in really, really well because it's effectively giving you 2 taunts for 1. What I found from playtesting Sledgebelcher is that it actually slows the game down a lot for you so that your Flame Strikes get a lot more value. So just because of that, the deck has improved significantly. In addition to that, there's also Loatheb, which is very good for shutting down your opponent's potential plays the next turn. And also Kel'Thuzad, who is sort of a win condition. Like if you have the board with Kel'Thuzad, you can trade in a bunch of your minions and have them spawn again, which is very, very nice. The fact that it's a 6/8 means that it survives Big Game Hunter, which is also very nice as well. So it looks like in this game my opponent just really didn't have too many answers. He's been playing from a position standing behind the entire time, and a lot of it is just due to just the amount of pressure that we've been able to put with the Zombie Chow from the beginning of the game. I'm actually curious to see how he's going to be able to sort of turn around this board. I think Blade Flurry with a Thalnos or something, or anything with spell power would actually be able to clear it here.
Ha! This guy's toast.
Okay. Well, preparation works for spells, so it's a little confusing.
Ha! This guy's toast.
Interesting. He didn't actually take advantage of that preparation at all.
Push forward.
Okay, sap.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Yeah, that was really confusing actually. That was a useless preparation. Okay, so he's managed to basically get rid of my board, but at this point the game's pretty much over because of the 2 fireballs I have in my hand. You'll find with this deck that you'll often finish off your opponents with fireballs or frostbolts. There is quite a bit of reach here. And if you're behind, like I said, the Sledge Belchers are really useful for slowing down the game so that you can flame strike your way to victory.
I wonder.
Another pretty big change in this deck is the inclusion of the Haunted Creepers to take place of the Bludgeon Raptor. The Bludgeon Raptor is 2 mana for a tier 2. I find that the Haunted Creepers are a bit better because it's 1/2 that spawns 2 1/1 tokens, and each of those 1/1 tokens can be buffed by a Shattered Sun Cleric. So that's super useful to help you basically trade up. And if you can keep it alive, on turn 3 you can make it a 2/3, so it's sort of like a mini Harvest Golem, really. And the Shade of Naxxramas is in there for Ironfur Grizzly, which was a fairly weak 3-drop. It was 3 mana for a 3/3 for Taunt, and the Shade has the potential to become bigger every single turn.
What to do? What to do?
So, I'm actually not really sure why I'm hesitating here. It should be pretty easy. I should just coin and then fireball, but
The pleasure is mine.
I guess I missed that when I played this game the first time. That's actually kind of bad. I'm actually doing commentary after I played the game, so looking back, this was kind of a mistake.
So many options.
Oh, ouch. That could have been a critical mistake. It chooses to trade instead of attack. Okay. Clears my board. Yeah, if my health was lower, that could have been a critical mistake. I would have basically died. So be sure to always count up your damage, boys and girls, because I certainly didn't do that there. Alright. That was a pretty easy game. My opponent didn't really have too many answers for my pressure early on.
Versus Rexxar.
Okay, so second game is against Hunter.
You asked for it.
This was actually recorded in the middle of September, so this was before the nerf to Starving Buzzard and Leroy. So the latter was basically filled with Hunters. I have quite a few games that I recorded against Hunter. I just chose to keep 1 or 2 of them. Otherwise it'd be kind of boring to watch. So in the beginning, when you mulligan, you always want to mulligan for your first 3 or 4 turns. With the coin, you can discount the cost of one of your minions by 1. So my thought process here was I can play Zombie Child turn 1, and then I can play maybe Shade on turn 2, or play a 2-drop and then play the Chillwind Yeti on turn 3.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Alright, Mad Scientist. So what would be bad is if I coin the Shade of Naxxramas and I kill the Mad Scientist, and it becomes an explosive trap. But then again, next turn my Shade would be a 3/3, so it actually wouldn't quite die to explosive trap. So I guess that's okay. Yeah. And then I would be testing the trap with the Zombie Chow. So I think it's either freezing or explosive right here. Oh, perfect. That's very good for me because I can just kill it with these 2 uses. So probably lose the... Yeah, there we go. And you can see here that he gains 5 health, but it doesn't matter because he's at 30. And let's kill the weapon. So we have a pretty good board position here. So next turn I'm looking at playing a Yeti. One of my Yetis.
I wonder.
Bring out your dead.
That's a 2/3. Passes. So I'll want to get rid of that 2/3. We don't want it to grow any bigger. So I'm going to be trading 3/2 into that and then ignoring the Haunted Creeper, because trading there actually would be unbeneficial for us because he'll spawn 2 1/1 tokens and he'll use one of the tokens to kill off our 4/1. Disadvantage of keeping it up is that the tokens aren't beasts, but the 1/2 spider is actually a beast. So kill command deals 5 damage there. That's another nice thing about the Shade of Naxxramas is that if your opponent ignores it, it just gets bigger every single turn. That's not something that would have been available to us if we kept in the Iron for Grizzly. Ooh, that hurts. Kel'Thuzad. So at this point in the game, I think I'm just going to try to push for lethal because he's at 18. And this board isn't really that easy for me to clear.
Trespasser!
And I think I go ahead and kill the 2/1, just because this way he won't be able to trade and kill off my Shade. Alright, so if he has Explosive Trap, he'll trade one of those guys into it. If he has Freezing Trap, then he would just attack my face with all of them. Or he could just clear my board. Wonder what secret it could be.
Job's done.
Alright, so it's not Snipe. Another bow. My suspicion is that this is probably Freezing Trap. Yeah. Okay. So I'll definitely want to get rid of the weapon. He's brought me down pretty low. It's a pretty close game. If Arcane Intellect draws me into some burn, then I should be able to kill him next turn. Well, actually not quite after losing the Boulder Fist Ogre there. Kodruzad's also not a bad option, so 6/8.
Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark, obey the call of
So here I lose to say Leroy Beast Single Command. But
let the dogs
that'd be really hard to do since he doesn't have that many cards. Okay, we're gonna test it first with our cheaper minion. Another freezing trap, okay. That's alright though, because we win with the Frostbolt.
pray for mercy.
Cool. So yeah, throughout this run I encountered a bunch of decks that are more valuable in terms of dust, but what you'll find is that basically if you have good deck construction and you know your deck very well, you can outplay your opponents and do better than most people would expect. I think here I just yeah, get rid of those. What I was really looking for is a 2-drop. Yeah, so
Job's done.
that's not good for me. You don't want to play Shattered Sun Cleric by itself on turn 3. It's pretty weak. No, the Grizzly's not bad. Or, sorry, the Chillwind Yeti is not bad because we're playing against a Priest and it has 4 attack.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, it's a very slow start. I have to apologize, I was playing on a trackpad here, I think, and my mouse movements are a little jerky. Okay, so playing Northshire Cleric on turn 1. Sometimes that means that he has a Powerword Shield, because it just protects your Northshire Cleric from any sort of 3/2s, or he could have had Holy Smite in his hand. That would have made the play safe as well. I can't be sure, since I wasn't able to play any of those. Yeah, Dark Cultist is a very, very strong 3-drop. It's really hard for us to play around. Like, we could kill the Dark Cultist, and then that becomes a 1/7, and then he, like, Divine Spirit Inner Fires and gets a 14. It's a pretty easy way to lose the game, right there. Even just
I wonder.
Inner Fire would just be bad, giving him a 7/7. So yeah, generally you just want to, when you see a Dark Cultist, you try to clear the rest of his minions before you kill off the Dark Cultist so you can't get value from that Death Rattle. Oh, interesting. If he has a combo, then that'll be really bad. It's actually been a while since I recorded these. I was sick for a while, so I actually don't really remember exactly how the games went. Chooses attack my face. Okay. I think I probably clear the Cleric here, and then drop down Lothab. Because making a 3/5 or a 1/7 is terrible. Alternatively, I could also polymorph the 3/4. I think those are my real options. But yeah, killing off the 1/3 with the 4/5 and then dropping Lotheb would give me probably the strongest board there. And then he would have to trade off 2 minions to kill off any one of my minions, so it's not too bad. And also, if he wants to Shadow Word Death next turn, it wouldn't be possible because of Lotheb, even though it's a 5/5.
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, looking back on this, I think I probably should have played Lotheb instead. It would have given me a better board. Because now he can just trade his 1/1 and 3/2
I must
and clear it,
consider.
and then he has the initiative now.
The damned stand ready.
Oh, great. He has another one. Oh, well, now he's pretty much guaranteed to get something buffed. Unless I have another polymorph. Unfortunately, there's not enough mana to make my Watermelon Emtil a 4/4/7. So if it dies to Shadow Word Pain, that would be especially painful.
I wonder.
I could also Arcane Intellect to see if I can draw into any answers, but there's no 3-mana card that would take care of the Dark Cultist for me. Right here. I think maybe dropping Lotheb here would be okay. Alright, so I decided to Arcane Intellect. And I would play the Shade, yeah. It's possible that at the time I was digging for Flame Strike. If I drew into a Flame Strike, that means the following turn I'd be able to clear his board basically. And I believe Flame Striking that board, because everything dies at the same time, the Battlecry wouldn't actually buff any of the 1/1 tokens from Dark Cultist.
Some still
Alright. Yeah, Sledge Belcher is difficult to deal with. I think I might be forced to Fireball.
I wonder.
Or alternatively, I could play double Shattered Sun Cleric, attack it, but a Holy Nova would basically just wipe up my entire board, which is pretty bad. So playing Fireball and then killing off the remaining 1/2 with the Shade of Naxxramas, that means I can buff it into a 4/3 with my Shattered Sun Cleric. It's probably the best option here, I think.
What
You
to
also
do?
notice that when I play, I typically take quite a while to sort of think through my turns. I like to
Time runs out on me.
basically think through my entire turn before I play a card.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
This is actually a sort of a bad play. I don't think I should have done that. But just because of Holy Nova. If he Holy Nova's here, I basically lose. I'm very lucky if he doesn't have it. Like, this would be a better play, I suppose, if he doesn't have Holy Nova. But yeah. Ouch. Definitely got punished for that, and rightly so. Okay, Flesh Vulture. Okay. Again, the only way that I can sort of come back now, I think, is a lucky Flame Strike. Alternatively, if I did use the Fireball, and he had Holy Nova, what he could have done is, I would have had a 4-3, and then a 3-2. He would have run the Haunted Creeper into my my Shade of Naxxramas, making it a 5-2, I believe. Or, sorry, a 4-2, yeah. 4-2 or 5-2. And then he could have Holy Nova from there, so he would also have cleared my board as well.
Must consider.
And I'm going to assume he doesn't have Shadow Wear Pain, otherwise he would use it on the 3-5 right away.
My shield!
Okay. 1, 2. Alright. Wow. That's pretty good for him. He gets to heal up. But even if he does heal up, Flame Strike would still clear this board. Ah, there we go. Very lucky top deck. It's definitely my saving grace. And I should just clear this board here.
I wonder.
Embrace the void.
Alright, Aknai, that's gonna clear my 3-1. Well, next turn he heals
I wonder.
and turns that 4-3 into a 4-5 and kill the Aknai Soul Priest. But that's like a Yeti against a Yeti, so that's alright, yeah. So the good thing here is that if he heals, then it becomes a 4-4 and my Yeti can just kill it. The only thing that can sort of screw me over here is, yeah, circle of healing right there. No, that was unfortunate. So yeah, there's definitely no way I can kill this guy this turn. So I should probably just dump minions on the board. Just attack his face for now. I would die to Holy Fire here.
To Northrend!
Okay. That hurts. Well, it's not quite game over yet. I can ping Divine Shield, kill the 4-2 with my 3-6. Yeah, I'm gonna have to trade basically to get rid of this board. Or I could freeze, yeah. I'll freeze that guy. Yeah. Hopefully go through that. The good thing about this is it lets me use the fireball next turn to kill the 4-4. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of Water Elemental, which is really one of the best 4-mana minions in the game, even though it's a basic card. It's really only truly
Let me
weak
change your
to
mind.
Shatterword, Shatter at Pain. Okay, so once again I have to clear the board. Baron Rivendare is the one that I'm not really scared about. But I will need to kill off everything else. Well, actually, even Baron Rivendare can kill me. I'm gonna have to clear the board.
Pray for mercy.
Yeah, either way it works. I can't think of a card that would benefit from Death Rattle in the same turn that's played for a priest. But just trading is safer, I suppose, just in case he silences his own minion. That would allow him to basically get through the freeze. And wow. This is a very, very close potential comeback.
Pray for mercy.
I would also die. I basically die to any spell here that deals damage. Holy Nova, Holy Smite, Holy Fire. It looks like he's trying to draw into one of those.
You have best.
Wow, okay.
Well played.
And it was very fortunate that he didn't have any of those answers.
Versus Rexar.
Let the hunt.
Alright, Hunter.
You asked for it.
Okay, the Zombie Chow is a good card to keep here, just because it's something that you can play on turn 1, and usually you try to seek to trade it off for something else early before your opponent loses too much life. And Frostbolt is actually quite good against most 3-drops and 2-drops.
I feel icky.
So him playing Leper Gnome shows that he's probably a face hunter, which means that he plays fairly aggressive and just goes for the face. Yeah, Zombie Chow is quite good here because he could potentially trade 2 for 1. there's a slight chance that
I'll show
my opponent is just,
I'll show
yeah.
them all.
So he had a 2-drop, and he was wondering whether it was worth it to basically let my guy 2 for 1. And I basically did this here because if it's explosive or freezing trap, he's just going to be throwing back 2-1. If I played another minion on the board, potentially he could get a lot of value from explosive trap. So I just want to avoid that. Yeah, so I just attack his face just to test the secret. And yeah, that's perfect. Right. And he basically doesn't heal anything. And yeah, play the Yeti. So quantity out a Yeti on turn 3 is actually very, very strong. Because you get your 4-drop out before your opponent gets a 4-drop out. And Yeti is actually a pretty good counter to most 4-mana minions in the game. Most 4-mana minions have like 4 health basically. And being the first person to play Yeti means that you'll be able to trade and still have the Yeti stay alive. In this particular situation, he already has a minion on the board, so if he actually played his own Chillwind Yeti, which is sort of unlikely because it's a hunter, but just hypothetically speaking, I would trade my 4/5 into his 4/5 and then use my hero power. And then he'd probably use the web spinner to kill off my Chillwind Yeti. So it would be sort of even just because he has a minion on the board. However, if he didn't have a minion on the board, then I'd basically be able to kill it for free. Alright, so I've lost a third of my health. This is sort of a wrestle for board control. I'm hoping that he doesn't really have card draw.
What to do?
As long as I don't dump the board, he doesn't get too much value out of Unleash the Hounds and Starving Buzzard, then I should be okay. And I think in that situation, my choices were either to play the Shade, or to play the Haunted Creeper, or to play my Ooze. I was saving my Ooze for a potential Eagle Horn Bow. And I wanted to be able to kill off his Creeper because it's a beast. It's interesting. So basically what this tells me is that he doesn't have any minions in his hand, or no minions with higher than 2 health, perhaps? The reasoning for that is because otherwise he would have played it because it would have been safe from being traded with the Haunted Creeper and my hero power. So the left 3 cards in his hand, or 2 or 3 cards in his hand, are probably spells. Well, or that. Yeah, so this was basically before the Hunter nerf to Starving Buzzard and Leroy Jenkins. So stuff like this was still possible. Yeah, and I'll just clear the board here, basically. The good thing about this deck is, even from being behind like this, wow, I was pretty lucky there. Having cards like Frostbolt and Fireball will sometimes give you the reach that you need to basically finish off your opponent. So that's a potential 9 damage there. And this would be really bad if it's Freezing Trap. Okay, and in this situation, I'm playing.
Cleanse the Sunwell.
I'm playing my 3/2 there because I want to avoid the potential of Explosive Shot, which is not a card that's used very commonly in Constructed. I could also argue that playing the 7/6 on the left side is sort of a mistake because of Big Game Hunter. But Big Game Hunter is also a card that's sort of rarely played in Base Hunter decks. And the reason why I gave it 1 health was basically just to play around the potential for kill command, basically to kill it as a 6/5.
Bring out your dead.
Well, it's unfortunate, but if my opponent saved his kill command and used it on my face, I would have lost right now. But yeah, that win just carries me to rank 11. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys.